All right. Good morning, guys. Sorry for being a little fashionably late over here chit-chatting at the shop. Michael Rob here, Lake Michigan Angler. Of course, the phone goes off right as we're starting the live stream. Hey, give us a thumbs up. Let us know you can hear us and see us just fine. I see everyone rolling in with some early good mornings. Thank you, guys. Good morning. Looking for perch today. Any clues? We'll talk about that here in a few. Sean, good morning. Scott, good morning. Brian, good morning. Nick, Chevy Guy. Good morning from the waters in Michigan City. What's up, Dave? Let's see here. We got Aaron checking in from the shores of Lake Erie. Welcome, my friend. Good morning to you all. FishX, Chris, JP, Mike. What's up, guys? How has the fishing been for you guys? Let me know how it's been. Have you guys fished this week? We had a lot of great weather to get out there and fish. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to. I've been totally tied down with a lot of other things I got going on. Rob has been, so we'll get that report today. We'll also talk about what's been hot and what's been working for guys, what's new here at the shop, and take any and all of your questions that you guys have as far as fishing goes on Lake Michigan. So at any point you have a question, share it. We'll go through and I'll read them off and we'll answer it to the best of our ability. Don't be shy. There's no question that's too entry level, or for those that want to have a spicier conversation about something more in depth, throw those questions in the chat so we could talk about it. Who else is here? Timothy, what's up? You must be staying busy, looking thin, brother. He's noticed. Yeah, I've been hard in the gym, guys. 30-day challenge. I appreciate that. Thank you for noticing. Feel beautiful. Timothy, perch have been great. We'll talk about that. Sounds like it has been. Yes. Jeff on the shores and my lazy boy. Nice, man.
Can't get fish there.
Matthew, good morning as well. All right, looks like we have a good amount of people here, so we can start talking about things here. Let's talk about what's new at the shop, Rob.
Let's see, we got in another shipment of stubbies. So if you're looking for reverse clowns or the 50/50s or the Coho killers or the flames, the flame Easter eggs here, which this is a double O, but we have it in the stubby as well. And we got some more of the 50/50s in the double O's, which are still working because there's so many Cohos out there. We did just get those in. Let's see what else we get in this week. We got in more rods, more reels, just like every week. I always say the same thing. We got in more cold waters, more convectors, more wire rods. We got a pile of 20-pound downrigger balls in this week. So if you need 20-pound downrigger balls, we've got them. They're really hard to get. We also have 15s and 12s as well. But yeah, those 20s are the most difficult downrigger weight size to get. So we've got those. I think that was all the new stuff that came in this week, other than just some little odds and ends here and there, like replacement lights for the blinkies and planer board lights and stuff like that, planer boards, some few flashers, but the big thing was these right here.
All right. Scott said good morning from work. Timothy said, gotta push a little slab snacks. Perch, love them.
Yep.
Never heard of them.
We got them right over here somewhere. I got a pile of them back here. Yeah, right here.
Oh, what are these? Let's show the people what they're talking about.
Is that close enough? Yep.
Jesus Christ, you're through in their face at that point.
I know. Well, I mean, they're small, so you gotta get really close there.
JP said regular shaped downrigger balls.
Yes, they're regular shaped. I also have some of the finned weights as well, but the 20s... Actually, I have the 20s in finned weights and regular balls, coated and non-coated. I think the 15s I have right now are all just regular shaped balls.
All right. I'm going to show you guys something because you guys are here with us in real time. Top secret, okay? Top secret. Now, one of our most commonly sold reels out of the shop is what rod? What reel line? The convector. It's been a workhorse reel at a fantastic price point.
Yeah.
And real quick, how many of you guys watching, put a hand, raise your digital hand in the chat, have a convector? Use the convector, fish with a convector, anything like that? Let's see. I'm pretty sure it's majority of you. And the reason I'm bringing that up here, I'm going to give you guys an exclusive look. I don't even know if this...
I don't know if they're even supposed to show it. Last time with the cold waters, they kept it a secret. We weren't allowed to say anything.
Really?
Yeah.
That's all. That's all I'm doing. Just,
All right.
just that. Just that, guys. Just that right there. Just that right there. Looks sexy, right?
It looks pretty nice, I have to say.
And coming soon. It's coming soon. It's coming soon. So that was just a little glimpse of what's coming from Akuma as far as the convector goes. And it looks great. I think it's on par with the upgrade they made from the Gen 1 cold waters to now the new Series A. I call them the Gen 2 cold waters. Those convectors are getting a nice revamp and stuff. So no ETA on when that's going to be available, but yeah.
I think it's more of a next year thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to delete this live after we're done. All right. Let's get into fishing for the week. I haven't been out. I've been swamped. Rob has, so I'll let him.
Yeah, pretty decent fishing this week. A lot of kings, a lot of cohos. A lot of fishing fairly close, in the 50s and 60s. I think you could even catch fish in the 40s, especially early in the morning. It changed throughout the week. Monday was pretty fast action, a lot of kings. And then Tuesday was a little more of a mixed bag, cohos and kings. As the week went on, then some more steelhead showed up. I was mainly fishing for the most part until today, anywhere from 50 to like 75, but I was really staying in the 50s and 60s. Getting bit on a variety of things. Now today was a little bit better, a little bit further out. I think the boat traffic had a lot to do with that because that was the most boat traffic I've seen this year. But my best rod throughout the week was the holdout Moonmaster on SWR down 35 feet. That took kings, it took cohos. Kind of surprised me how good it was, to be honest with you. But it was really good. I caught fish on 5 eyes here, on 200 copper. I caught fish on bad toad on 200 copper. Throughout the week for me, I had a couple fish on flasher flies on the wires, but really the spoons were much better. Now today was the opposite. Today, wire diver out 85 feet with a white pro troll and a bullfrog fly was by far the best rod. I think that got hit 5 times, kings and cohos. We had kings on 5 eyes on a 200 copper. We had a stubby. Now this week, actually, there's been a lot of kings caught on the stubbies. The red stubbies, the reverse clown. Captain Blake was catching kings on this all week, a few other charters as well, running on their lead cores and their coppers. So today, we didn't catch any kings on it. We were catching cohos on it with the 7-up fly. But overall, pretty good fishing. Today we had much bigger cohos than we were catching earlier in the week. We had a couple steelhead as well. And so overall, good fishing.
That is good to hear. Also, guys have been using our Toad series spoons.
Yes, yep.
Bloody Toad's catching.
The clutch toad caught a nice king for one of the tournament boats yesterday.
We posted that up on our Facebook. And going into July, guys, for me, I've noticed always that blues really start to fire off. So if you haven't really leaned into any of your blues, whether it's a blue flounder, whether it's a clutch toad, which is the blue head toad from our series, dancing anchovy, don't hesitate. I even like the super slim blue slice. It's another one I like. Lean into some blues out there in your spread because, like I said, I've always noticed in July when the water sets up and we get everything setting up, blues really do well for me on spoons. So don't be shy to dunk that in there. Also, plugs are working. On the last trip out, plugs are working. Give it a shot. I would probably recommend starting with the smaller size ones. Put on a 200 copper and let it sit out there, and it'll catch you some fish. Might not catch you a ton of fish. It'll catch you some fish. And again, normally it's been some real good size. I mean, it caught one of our biggest coho on the last trip out of Racine on that day. And so it's another thing you can throw out there to kind of give all these fish an option on what they want. Let them decide. Meat as well. We've got plenty of meat here.
Yep.
So grab some meat. Start early in the morning, dark. Dunk it down there. And your last trip out, boom, first fish was a king right on the meat to start. So you've got a lot of different options to play around with. when you're thinking about your spread, if you're running 9 rods, even if you're running 6 rods, I really like running 6. It's just really fluid and simple. But if you're running 6 or 9 rods, think about kind of each rod, where it's at in the water column, and what you're putting on it to kind of give them a little bit of a buffet to choose from, right? I think right now, the time of the year, you're better off giving them a little, starting off, at least in my opinion, with kind of like one of each thing, and then dialing it in from there. Just because we got the water setting up, the mixture of fish. It could be moody. They might want this. They might want that. So just give them a little bit of everything. If you start getting bites on more one thing than the other, then boom, you switch out those other things to get more of like what they are dialing in on, and that'll kind of help your day out as well. Versus like going in all on spoons. Like when we have like a hot spoon bite, everybody knows about it. Then yeah, sure. But like right now, I think it's really we're catching them on spoons. We're catching them on flasher flies. We're catching them on some plugs, some meat. They're biting a little bit of everything. So why not start with that mixture and then dial it in from there? Also, I think the important thing too, start in the dark. Right now, start in the dark. That's 7 a.m. ish, 7:30. It's a hard cutoff right now.
Yeah, it gets a lot tougher after 7.
So get out there, hit that dock at 3 a.m. You take your time, loading up, get in the boat, ready to launch out at 3:30. Go in the dark, have all your lights on, have all that safety stuff. Set lines at 4 a.m. and start fishing till 7. You could bag a limit in those 3 hours and be off the water and have the rest of your day, honestly. I'd rather do that than grind out after 7 o'clock for your limit. That's the worst.
Yep.
Plus, it's been hotter than you-know-what out here lately. So, just a couple of thoughts from me. Let's see here. Patrick said, Blue Flounder Pounder is a great spoon in July, too. Yep.
Yeah, one of my all-time favorites.
Yep. Yeah, I'm saying the blues in July. I don't know why. They just really... I really lean into them quite a bit. Scott said, I have a question. I bought a quick release ninja board, the small one. Can it be reversed to go to the other side?
No, they can't.
Side. No, yeah, they are fixed to whatever direction they're set for, Scott. Rai said, Michigan City was good yesterday for us and close. Lots of bait. We caught 4 coho, 1 king, and a steelhead. Awesome.
Nice.
When you say close, what's close right now? Because I know the south end is very different. When I talked to Brian from Big Lake Little Boat, they were talking about 10 miles is where the bite is, right at the state line between all the 3 states, Michigan, Indiana, and Illinois. So, not sure if that's what you're referring to. Do we have any updates on Skamania out there? Have we heard anything much?
I heard of some fish, but not real detailed reports.
Yeah. We're a little removed from like what's happening down there with that. So we probably won't be the best kind of resource for the Skamania run in Indiana, but let's talk about perch. What's been going on with the perch, Rob?
They've been catching perch in all the harbors, really. Catching fish on minnows. Actually, we got in a big shipment of minnows and small shiners and everything for them. But they're getting them on Castmasters. I know the Kenosha guys are doing pretty good on Castmasters, soft plastics, the little Potski minnows. Those were super stretchy minnows, been really good. And just, of course, live bait and shrimp. That's all been working. Little tinsel jigs. So pretty decent fish. They're, one day you'll get into some nicer ones. The next day they're smaller ones. But if you put in your time, you're gonna catch them.
Yep. Kenneth, hello from Tennessee. Welcome back, man. Dave Ambers, 4 for 5, Michigan City this morning. Coho.
Oh, nice job, Dave.
Awesome, man. Good to hear that. John said, I'd like to try braid on my downrigger rod. What pound test should I use?
Usually 40.
Okay. Scott said, are the Skamania rainbows the ones with the big heads? I don't know.
I've never really noticed them having a bigger head than the other ones. You see more of a difference in the head between male and female steelhead. Males are going to have a longer head than a female. And that goes for all the strains of steelhead. So, but I've never really noticed Skamania specifically having bigger heads.
Okay. Rye said 8 convectors. 8 convectors, what exactly? Any other questions, guys? Feel free to throw them in there. As far as anything, whether it's you need lure suggestions, you have any questions about how to run something, now's the time we want to be able to just open ourselves up to answer any questions you may have or any thoughts you might have. If guys are going to start right now, Rob, in our area, what depth do you think they should start in the dark in the morning?
Oh, I'd start it as soon as you hit 50. I'd set lines. You could probably start in a little closer than that, but there's cold water underneath. So if you're out there, you're going to see warm water on the surface, but the thermocline is not down very far. So I think it was we had we put the downrigger down 20 feet with the probe. It was 49 degrees.
Wow.
So the fish are up, yeah.
Wow.
And in the cold water, it comes in fairly close to shore. So the fish are, it's good and bad. We got this cold water, it's great. There's a lot of fish around, but they're also really spread out. So like, cause that area from the first 50 to the edge of the hill to like 80, you know, that's a couple miles. So they're very spread out, but it's good because the fishermen can spread out as well and still catch fish. So if out of North Point here, you know, it kind of goes up and down a little bit. That's why I say like the first 50, it comes up to like 45, and then down to 50, 55, back up, and then, you know, so you got those three little humps there on the way out. I've just been kind of zigzagging in between them until today. Because of the boat traffic, we ended up sliding out a little bit and getting them into like 85, 90, and 100 towards the end there. But our first fish were all in shallower, so fish are kind of all over the place.
Okay. Jeremiah asked, are they catching them on the piers where there's cold water yet?
I've heard of a few Skamania. I've not heard of any salmon.
Chevy guys asked, is meat still working for you? It has. I haven't been out in I haven't been out this whole week. We're gonna try. I'm gonna try to. I've got some obligations all the way through Wednesday and stuff like that. But excuse me. You guys know that I said that this year I was really committed to really investing in the meat program, both the real and learning this fake stuff. And I'm gonna continue to fish it on whoever's boat I'm going out on, and it's been working. It's, you know, there were days where that was when I'll say meat in general, both real and fake, but that took the most hits, right? It had the most action. Didn't catch all the fish. We didn't land all of them, but it had the most hits. And then like the most recent trip in Racine, I think it went off like 3 or 4 times total. So it was probably the second best after the blue spoons that was getting interaction with the fish. It took one of our biggest kings that day. We had like a 12 or 13 pounder first thing in the morning off the real meat on our dead toad flasher. So it is working. I think if you guys are Hello? Are we back? Oh, we're back. Sorry, guys. First day streaming ever in my life. Apparently, the battery died.
Quick recovery, though.
Thanks for not leaving us so fast. Anyway, I forgot what I was blabbering about. Long story short, meat is still working. Commit to it. I like it on the rigger or on the dip seas where I'm fishing it right now. One of the two. Right now, I'm doing both. If I go on a boat, I'm real meat's going to be on either the rigger and or reel in the fake, and I'll put one on the other, and I put them close to each other too. So that's what I've been doing. It's been working well for me. So just make the investment in it. Man down. Sorry about that, guys. All right, let me catch up on some questions here. I see some good ones. All right. Sarah Soul just checking in. Finished the morning of chasing largies inland. All right, man. Awesome. Eric said, I need 2 electric downriggers. What do you recommend?
Magnum Metals. Can't go wrong with them.
Cannot. They're local. You'll
have to wait a little bit. There's usually a little bit of a wait to get them, but it's worth the wait. You'll never have to buy another downrigger the rest of your life.
Yeah. They'll take care of their customers too. So highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Sean said never a single boat out there besides us and Waukegan at night usually either. Yeah, Sean was mentioning that the night bite's been good from 7:30 to 9:30 as well. So that's another option to explore, especially for guys that can't get out in the early mornings. You got work, obligations, family, stuff like that. if you got an evening free, man, get on the water. I would get out there at 5, putz around. You'll pick off a couple here and there, and then just kind of wait for that time period that Sean's talking about for it to fire off. Let's see here. Scott said, do people prefer 77 kilohertz or 200 kilohertz on their fish finder sonar? I don't have a preference on that, so I don't really have an answer for that one.
Yeah, I think we're usually on, actually, I think we're usually on 83 with ours.
Okay.
We'll switch back and forth sometimes do the split screen with 2 different frequencies. It gives you a better idea of what's underneath you and what's just out to the side. You'd be surprised how much of a difference there is sometimes.
Yeah. John said, for guys that only get out in the evening, where would you start a couple hours before work? Great question.
Oh, kind of the same depths that I just mentioned. I might start a little bit deeper, like the deeper end of the depths I mentioned earlier. And of course that's going to change. Like right now we've got this cold water in, but next week it might not be there. So that's going to change things up. The starting point's going to change. But right now, I think if you started right, and I'd probably start in, like, if I was going out tonight, I'd start in 80, 90 to 100, and then maybe work your way in, and get back into that 50s and 60s where we did the opposite in the morning. Yeah. And I think, to be honest with you, if you're fishing out of here at North Point and we have that edge of the hill there, you probably just catch fish on that all night long.
Yeah. All right, Kenneth said, top 3 baits right now, spoon fly meat. Rob, go ahead and I'll answer after.
Well, this week, that holdout Moonmaster. Actually, it took, the Thursday, it took a 24-pound king for another person.
Not Steve, right?
No, not Steve.
Oh, somebody else got a big one?
Yeah, and that was on this.
So far, we didn't mention it. So far, the biggest king was caught in our area has been 26, and that was last weekend?
Yeah, that was last weekend.
Yeah, so that's the biggest we've heard of so far in our area that we saw as well in pictures, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. But that's been my best spoon this week. My best flasher. Flashers really didn't take off for me until today, but today, like I said, 85 feet out on a wire diver, the white Pro Troll, glow front, silverback, and a bullfrog Howie. That was the best rod in the boat.
Okay.
So.
And you're not doing much with meat anyway, right?
No, I'm not fishing meat.
Okay. For me, spoon, I'd probably say as of recently, the Bloody Toad has probably been most consistent that I've put out. As far as a fly, I'd say flasher fly. I'd probably say the Hailstrom flasher with a bullfrog fly. Caught some fish on the last trip. Flasher flies haven't really fired off for me just yet. Hasn't really been hot.
Really has not been as consistent as normal for me. Normally, I really
lean
into my flashing flies a lot, especially on my wire divers. Excuse me. And it just hasn't been the case. We've had a couple days here and there where they'd start firing off, and then you think you're onto something, but you're not. Spoons again after that. Today, it's probably one of those days. We got that one, like we had 2 wire divers out. We could not get a bite on a second wire diver no matter what we did with it. We changed it up a bunch of times. It never got bit, but that white Pro Troll with the bullfrog, 85 feet out, was definitely on fire.
Randy said, what about the artificial meat strips? What exactly do you want to know, Randy? I'm happy to answer that question about the artificial stuff. JG said, had anyone tried the new coldwater A reels? Wondering if the drag still creeps. No, so we can confirm the new A series. They address that creepage. It's an upgraded drag system. It's fantastic.
The new cold waters are much nicer. I really like the new cold water.
Not even just aesthetically, but under the hood, they made those improvements to address the issues that we've had, or some people have had with the drag. So when you buy one now, no longer you have to go get it upgraded anywhere else.
Yeah.
So sorry for the guys that made a living doing that, but Akuma listened to us and they made those changes. So it's right out the box. You're ready to go. Dude.
I'm always skeptical when they change something. They come out with something new. They're like, oh, it's not going to be as good as the old one, but they got it right on this one.
All right. Let's see here. We're back. Okay. See, Aaron said fake meat is taking on its own phenom. Guys on Ontario just cutting pieces of silicone to shapes and sizes using the scents on them, catching kings and Lakers. that's where it's really started from. That's how I discovered it. Was I watched the Ontario guys were raving about it, so I'm like, I'll give it a stop. You know, my thing is here at the shop, I'm always kind of very open to testing new stuff because maybe something will work really good for us in our area, and so that's how I ventured into it. And I had zero expectations of it when I got them, and I've been blown away by the results. I think Rob, admittedly, probably is too because he's like, yeah, there's no way. And then I'm like, hey, Rob, look at the pictures. I'm like, it's working. He's like, whatever.
Just put those in its mouth.
You know, guys were giving us hell on the picture with your dad with the fly being backwards on the.
So what happened was
we thought we staged it, Rob.
Yeah, the whole flasher got tangled up on the way in. So it was all wrapped up. The fly leader was somehow wrapped up into the line coming from the rod. And before we took the picture, I just pulled the fly leader off the back of the flasher so that we could handle it all. Took the picture real quick and then took care of it. But yeah, it kind of looked like we had the fly in front of the flasher.
Yeah. There was so many people going.
It was weird because it was all wrapped up. It actually looked like when we were reeling in that fish, it looked like the fish had just eaten, like T-boned the flasher and eaten that.
Yeah.
For most of the fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see here. Sean said, new cold water A series has been awesome on our Dipsy. No creep. There you go. Eric asked, is it better to run a four wire Dipsies or split with braid? It's a good question.
It depends on you. Like, I like using the braid a lot for cohos. I also like, this year I started running braid slide divers with spoons, and that was good for us, and the braid's a little easier to do that with. If you're going all out on kings, there's no reason not to do 4 wires, though. And it's a popular thing to do. And cohos will still bite it. So it's just on you, what you prefer. But if you're just all out on kings, I would do the 4 wires.
Aaron asks, what size of Northeast troller spoons are most guys using? Want to give some of his stuff a try? Aaron, I honestly haven't fished it. It's something that we're interested in here at the shop, I believe. It's just kind of haven't gotten around to it. The best person I know that you can ask that, get over to Brian at Big Lake Little Boat on his YouTube channel. Drop a comment on one of his videos. He fishes with them. He could probably better answer that for you right now. But hopefully it's something that we'll get into. We just got to kind of manage all the stuff we have here and make sure, to get stuff in, it's going to go out. We don't want to kind of sit on inventory. But to their credit, they've been making a good name for themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
So they're definitely on our radar for sure. So shout out to Northeast Troller. Randy said, do you put screws or pins in your divers to lock them at the setting 1 or 2, or at 3? I drilled small holes in divers and screwed small machine screws in them to keep them set. I wonder if screwing into it would mess anything up with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never done any modifications like that with my divers.
Yeah, and not that I know this for sure, but again, drilling into that disc, I don't know if that could impact the action. Maybe not. It's just a thought. Most of everybody's just setting it on the thing and just letting it go.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't think too hard into that one. CE said, anyone catching anything from shore?
Yeah, perch and occasional steelhead so far.
All right. Sean said, we run braid in our 2 high divers out of convenience, but wire for sure calls the kings. I was skeptical until we started running them last year, but the wires quickly became our best rods on the boat. Yeah, it's kind of like the reoccurring theme with wire divers. For some reason, it draws them in, puts kings on there. So you have that as well. Any other questions, guys? When you guys were talking about the convectors, I have 8. Okay, got you. Yeah, they're a great reel for the price point. You really can't beat them. They're just a workhorse. They take a beating and they'll still perform for you. What else is there to talk about, guys, for today? Anything else that's on your mind? I see Bolt's about to pull up here in a second. Any final questions?
I don't know if there's like an exact
Don't forget, we have tickets for Salmon-a-Rama. Salmon-a-Rama is right around the corner. If you do come to buy them here at the shop, it's cash only for those, since that money goes straight to them, not us. So come grab your Salmon-a-Rama tickets. We do have them. I'm trying to think of any other things. Chevy guy preferred wire diver rod length. I like the 8 foot.
Yeah, 8 foot for the insides. even 7 foot if you can get your hands on them, it's not bad. But I like 8 footers, and then for outsides I like 9s. I know a lot of guys like 10s. I just hate 10-foot rods, but I know they're very popular in other parts of the lake, but in our area we prefer shorter.
Scott said, Coho Dodgers still working. When do you usually stop running them? Scott, charters are running them all year. They're running stubbies, they're running double O's on lead cores and high lines, coppers. They're still trying to target silverfish and coho as much as they possibly can. They don't normally try to target kings so much just because it disrupts their whole spread and all that stuff. You got one king and it can just wreck your whole spread. So for charters, they still will primarily focus throughout the entire year on coho and Lakers, and the Dodgers are still taking fish right now. Rob talked about in his report at the beginning.
Yeah, the stubbies will catch cohos the entire summer.
And they'll get a bonus king here and there.
Yep.
The steelhead will hit them. They'll catch a lake trout on the trash can one, stuff like that. So you can 100% still fish the stubbies. Don't think it's only a spring thing, guys. Eric said best rod tree.
Magnum Metals.
Anything that you need for riggers and trees, Magnum Metals is what we'll always recommend to you guys. Quality of work, it's worth every dollar you spend, and they take care of their customers. If you have issues, they can custom stuff. Just talk to Magnum Metals. They're in Richmond, Illinois. Are there guides that go on? Let's see. Are there guides that go out where you are located? Yeah, absolutely, Kenneth.
Yep, there's a whole bunch. If you just Google North Point or Winthrop Harbor charters, Illinois charter captains, salmon fishing, you'll be able to find them all.
Yeah. Or if you're in the shop, we have a little board here where you can grab some of the brochures from some of the various captains in the Kenosha, North Point, Waukegan area. We don't make specific recommendations just because they're all relations.
They're all good fishermen around here anyway, so you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I think it really just comes down to availability. They all have nice boats, well kept. They all know how to catch fish.
And they're all working together out there. So if one guy's really nailing them, he's selling the other guys. And
they all work together. Yeah. So just find one that works for you and that you like and go out there. But they're all great, man. They're all great guys. Let's see here. Timothy said, I've got 2 wire setups from Rob a couple years ago. Everything's still like new. Definitely got more kings with the setup, but been thinking about upgrading the drag. Do you guys do this?
I've got a local charter who does that. There might be a little bit of a wait time this time of year because he's busy fishing. Otherwise, in the off season, it's a good thing to do.
Okay. Scott asked, would you exchange my Ninja board if I still have the package and the receipt?
Yeah, as long as the package hasn't been opened up.
Okay. What setup do people usually run the Coho Dodgers in the summer? 5 color?
Yeah, that's what we were running today.
Yeah, 5 color. You can do 7 color. When that thermal pushes down a little bit deeper, you can run off. You can really run on anything.
Yeah, divers.
There's charter captains in Chicago I was out that are still running a 1 color up top, and they're catching steelhead and coho up top.
Yep.
It's very possible, even in that warm water.
Yeah.
Just kind of toy around with it.
Yeah, I caught a steelhead the other day, just flatlining my SWR while I was doing something else.
Yeah.
And they'll even put the charters, they'll even put the stubbies down on their downriggers.
Yeah.
Just real close to the ball, put it down 20, 30 feet. And this time of year it's a lot of fun when you get a coho with like a short lead like that. And then you got it, it's just really feisty behind the boat. You got all those lines. So
man. Other thing that we can report too is these cohos, they're chunked up. Man.
Yeah, we got big ones today. It's the biggest ones of the year.
Yeah, there's a lot of 5 pound, seems to be like the new average weight now, 5 pound class coho, creeping up a little bit more north of that. So that's exciting to see. I'm pretty sure by October, by the fall run, start seeing them 7, 8, 9 pounders, and occasional 10. So that's really good to see. And they're cutting up really good, man. The fish we cut, the beautiful skin, meat color. So like really, really good. I've actually quite a few. I kind of want to get to do a smoke sometime, but we'll see. All right, guys. We've blabbered enough as it is. Hopefully you found this live useful. If you need anything we talked about, you know where to come. We're here at the shop. You can also order online at lakemichiganangler.com. I've pinned that to the chat here. Get out there, get fishing. We're open tomorrow as well. And gear up before 4th of July weekend. Everyone's gonna be out there fishing as well, so gear up for whatever you need. Final thoughts, Rob?
No, get out there and fish. I think we have some good weather. Actually, I haven't really looked at the weather too much, but I'm assuming it's going to be a busy week. A lot of people are going to have off, and usually the 4th of July is good fishing. Like, I always look forward to fishing the week of the 4th of July. That's when the kings really start getting fired up. We saw some bigger ones being caught recently, so it should be fun going forward.
All right, there it is, guys. All right, we're out of here. Take care. We'll see you guys next week. Later.